This is Brunch, Blaze, and Battle,
where we eat, elevate, and talk about
media trends from the past,
the present,
and the future
from a Black perspective.
I'm your host, Roger Turner.
And I'm your host, Alexis Bertrand.
So sit back,
spark up,
and let's get into it. Hey, Alexis.
Hey, Roger, baby. How you doing?
I'm fine and dandy. I'm doing all right.
I like the fine and the dandy.
I'm doing okay.
I think a couple episodes back, it was like fair to Midland.
Oh, yeah. That was
but now we fine and dandy.
I'm fine and dandy.
I like that.
I am skipping along. How are you?
I am good. You know, us educators, we getting ready for spring break. So, you know, I can see the finish line, baby. We are almost there.
Come on, MTV spring break.
Woo, come on, right? On my couch. I can't with you.
How was your brunch?
Brunch was good. So listen, I've been really digging into this like fruit salad thing, but this time, in addition to like the berries, strawberries, grapes, I had in some pineapple, a little mango, I added a little chili powder. Walk with me for a second. I did the honey with the granola and a little chili powder, and it gives it just a little bit of
You put chili powder on the fruit?
Uh-huh. I promise you, it works. You don't think it is, but just a little bit to like get. I promise you. For me, I like spicy, but it adds just this little interesting kick.
It is probably delicious. My OCD is kicking in, so
not the OCD.
I don't want my, like the whole like things on the plate. Don't want my food to touch.
Really?
I don't want my.
Are you playing with me, Mr. Salad King? We got all of the alfalfa sprouts and adding all this seaweed and seeds and stuff.
I don't want my spices and my fruits together. I don't want my sweet.
That is homophobic.
I don't want my sweet and savories together.
Oh, the sweet and savories can't be together?
I do not want them.
Oh, Lord, the prejudice around it. I can't have my sweets next to my savories.
I don't like. I'm not that girl.
Y'all, he's grabbing his bosom right now because he can't take it right now. I can't even deal with this.
I am crawling out of my clothes.
You are so upset about it.
I'm so skeeved. Like, chocolate covered pretzels, get out.
What are you serious? I love a good chocolate covered pretzel.
Get this out of here.
Are you serious?
I did not want bread in my candy bar. I don't want this.
I am hurt. I am deeply wounded now.
I don't want it.
Okay, I did not know this about you.
That weirds me out.
Okay, that is fascinating. Okay, well, maybe I did have an egg or two. Well, I had like an egg and a half because they're expensive. I can't do too many eggs now because they're like $19. But just had me a couple eggs
each.
It's each. Shit. When wheat bread is cheaper
than an egg?
Stop it. Like whole grain is cheaper than eggs.
What are we going through right now?
Well, okay, that's a different episode.
In New York, they selling Lucy eggs. If you come to New York, you can go to Bodega. You get a little bag of 3 eggs.
You know what I'm saying? You get your cigarettes. You get your little bag of weed. And you get you eggs.
You get a couple of eggs.
Could you imagine they're gonna be on the street? You got weed, perks, and eggs. Okay, no perks though.
Let's not go there.
Okay. Anyway, how was your brunch?
My brunch was pretty good. I had a salad, so I'm not gonna hold y'all long. Mm-hmm. I had me a nice little salad.
I bet it wasn't sweet and savory.
It was not. Mm-hmm. It was not. It had some broiled chicken with some vegetables, broiled, not boiled.
I got broiled. You. Okay, get me together. You are gathering me this opener.
Because boiled chicken is what?
It's nasty. I can't. Why are we doing that? I do that for my dogs, but let's not.
Let's not. How high are you?
So clearly I'm high, okay? Clearly it's there. So we're at a fun 8. It's a fun 8.
How'd you ingest? I know how you ingest it, but tell the brunchers.
Oh, child, this edible life has really been kicking in for me. So my wonderful compatriot here, Roger Turner, gave me this fantastic Camino
sours.
Camino sours, baby.
Oh, shut up. I am such a liar.
What?
Because, oh no, I'm right. Okay, it's strawberry salsa. I thought this said chili. It says chill.
It just says chill.
I thought it said chili. So I was like, were these spicy?
Right, because you don't do your spice and savor. We have covered that already this episode.
Were these sweet and spicy? And I enjoyed it? No, I'm high.
Look, I was about to clock it. No, we good. So yeah, that was very, very good. I loved it. And did you ingest the same?
I ingested the same, and I am hitting a 9.
This okay. It's gonna be a great episode. It's about to be. We already at a 9. Yes, baby.
Already at a 9.
Yes, queen.
She's hitting me.
Okay.
You want to tell the people what we're talking about
So
today?
listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all what we're talking about today. So American football, right? Not to be confused with football, which we call soccer on this side of the earth. But American football is a sport that is beloved by millions and millions of people. And it is a multi-billion dollar business. And I think it really comes down to two things. It comes down to, of course, the athletics. We love the showmanship. We love the athleticism. And then it's the spectacle. We come for the show. Basically, yes, we want to know who's singing the national anthem. But more importantly, the more high profile the show, we want to know who's
in the halftime.
Who is doing the halftime, okay? Because halftime shows, the culture of them have really, I think, propelled the NFL to these way more profitable heights than anything that they could think of, right? And no one has impacted halftime shows, halftime show culture, brought in more dollars than black artists.
Yeah, it's been
Black excellence, black art, black culture shows up at these halftime shows, and we are glued to our screens.
Whether you choose to be or not.
I mean, right? Because people will get on and hate afterwards, which we're going to get to later. But what we really wanted to highlight is the black brilliance that shows up every time there's a halftime show. And we're going to talk about two in particular. But the name of this episode, before we get there, is called The Black and the Bowl.
Come on, The Black and the Bowl.
Okay, get into it.
Titles. Titles, we know them. So
y'all, I hope y'all ready for this because it's going to be a good one.
This is going to be a great time. So I think it's time for us to pull back the curtain.
Come on, Roger, pull it back for us, baby. What you got?
Okay, so I did a little research. I did a lot of research.
You went in on this one. I know you did.
Halftimes. I went. Not only did I do all my little fact checking and looking for things, I have watched just about every Super Bowl halftime show.
Back me up, ho. From when? From Rooter to the Tooter?
From 1967.
No, you went further than that, I bet.
No,
1967 was the first one?
Was the first Super Bowl. And at the first Super Bowl,
that's like 50. Well, now I'm doing the math. That's like 50-something years. You've watched all of those Super Bowls?
Well, not as many
Super Bowl halftime.
As halftimes as many of them that are available. Because there
were
a few I could not find.
Oh my God.
But yeah. So yeah, I watched all of them. So let's just talk about Super Bowl in general.
Yeah, okay.
So Super Bowl halftime show, from its inception, the idea for the halftime show was described as wholesome and inoffensive entertainment.
Wholesome and inoffensive entertainment. Okay, I'm with
Since
you. Making it family.
1967, they said we wanted family. So instead of they tried to make it a little more clearer.
Okay.
And inoffensive. The shows were big musical productions of usually a college or high school marching band, mostly college, for the first 30 years of the Super Bowl. It's mostly marching bands.
Okay, marching. Okay, that makes sense, though. I get into that.
And different marching bands have been from all over the country. But one marching band was at the first Super Bowl and has the record as being the college marching band that has appeared at the Super Bowl the most. They have the highest Super Bowl appearance record.
What college? Okay, college, right?
So you don't even have to think that hard. When I say the best college marching band in the country, you say
Grambling.
Exactly.
Are you serious?
That is the band, Grambling State University marching band.
Like world renowned, like serious.
Has been in the Super Bowl starting in 1967 at the first Super Bowl, which was a big deal because at the time, we were just starting to integrate.
Like literally, this is 1967.
We were
right
on the
there.
tail end of Jim Crow era.
Oh my God! Wow.
And
look at the Black Excellence shows.
So Arizona State and Grambling University marching bands performed together at that Super Bowl.
Wow.
Which was a big deal. However, I watched that Super Bowl and it was tricky.
Tricky? What made it tricky now?
So one of the songs they definitely played Dixie.
Oh, God.
They definitely played Dixie.
Oh God.
And then they played a very popular jazz song from the time called "Waiting for General Lee."
I'm sorry. General Lee, as in Robert E. Lee.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. So all right. So we hit the we have the level of excellence where like we starting to do. So wait a minute. Let me back up. We want to go to wholesome and non-offensive, but this kind of makes sense coming at the end of Jim Crow. So at that time, wholesome and non-offensive didn't necessarily exclude racists.
Right, because at this time,
Jesus.
ain't nobody saw a big, like we saw literally Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben were both blackface at this time.
That's true. That's
They
so
were,
true.
so, they were black caricatures. So this was popular
It's just
culture.
literally a lot. We're not justifying it, brunchers. That's
But
not to be
racism
clear.
was pervasive in this time. So that
A little
wasn't
overt. Dixie and
overt.
okay, I'm done. I'm
Racism
done.
was pervasive in the culture. So it wasn't considered inoffensive at the time.
Okay.
So we go on, and it's just marching band after marching band. And let me tell you, sis, they was dry. These things.
Oh, Lord.
There was one
Just ashy and dry.
trumpeter that got up there, and he must have performed like a gazillion times. Al Hurt is his name. So there is a trumpeter named Al Hurt, and I probably saw him more often than I saw Grambling. He was playing this little trumpet so many times. He's famous. He was a famous like jazz musician at the time.
Okay.
Do you remember the TV series Green Hornet?
Yes.
So you remember the theme song?
Yeah.
That's Al Hurt.
Okay. Cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Cute.
That's
He
Al
must have had some kind of contract with them.
But
I guess.
I just think that's what they thought was popular and like a big show back then.
Okay, so the marching bands and Al Hurt, the trumpeter, is performing, and this goes on for many years.
When I say, honey, like we didn't get Michael Jackson until 1993.
Oh, shoot. So we're talking almost 25 years.
Yeah, in between
24, 25 years.
It is band after band. There's a group that comes in there in between there called Up With People, which was like a nonprofit organization.
Vaguely
that
sounds familiar.
That was its purpose was to spread positivity through music and
Girl, I'm already bored.
People.
It's Super Bowl halftime. I'm bored.
So
I don't
they
need all
would-
that fool la 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 la.
They would get all these people, these young kids and teenagers of color,
That's
train
cute.
them
Okay.
in music, and then they go perform and
that's
raise
pretty.
money for the nonprofit.
That's nice.
A
Girl, bye.
mess.
It sounds like a mess.
It's a
I'm
mess.
bored. I'm bored just hearing.
So they were there a bunch of times. Everybody did a bunch of different things. You had a couple of outstanders. Okay, the worst was 1989 when a performer by the name of Elvis Presto performed.
Elvis Presto.
Elvis Presto. They used to have Super Bowl themes back then, and the Super Bowl theme was rock and roll, bebop, bamboozled.
What?
So Elvis Presto is an Elvis impersonator.
It's cute. You high as shit. I
I'm
love
high.
it.
An Elvis impersonator who's also a master of prestidigitation. Do you remember what that is?
What the hell is prestidigitation? The mad you made me say that word.
Sleight of hand tricks.
Wait a minute. So they had a Elvis impersonator
Sleight of hand
who was also a magician.
a sleight of hand music.
You keep saying sleight of hand. Shut up. This is okay.
Card tricks.
Also just card tricks. Also basic.
For the Giant Stadium.
I'm so mad. Get
But let me tell you what he did. He got giant life-size cards and had thousands of people moving the cards around and making cards tricks with those.
So at this point, it's 1989, and the halftime shows are just a damn mess. This is tragic.
It is a mess.
This
it
is
a
so
mess.
tragic.
And then so throughout the years, NFL is getting criticism that like this can't be a family show if the kids don't want to watch it.
Because they no family.
It's not.
How you gonna have a family show with no family?
It's not. It's not a family performance
Because their family not watching.
If the whole family does not want to watch
This some
it.
bug.
So the kids was getting up out of the room at halftime, like,
I'm gonna get a new sandwich.
I was like, oh, let me go get a sandwich because you're a little jazz. I don't want to hear this.
I don't want to hear this trumpet no more.
I don't want to hear this.
Okay.
So especially not in 1989. We had so much music going on.
We really did, y'all.
We had so much music going on. So they go on, and finally they do like a Motown tribute. They have a couple of different people here and there. And then their first big performance. So who do you think is the first big pop act to like hit the Super Bowl?
MJ.
We all think it's MJ in 19...
He destroyed that. That was like 91, 93?
93.
93. There we go.
We all think it's Michael Jackson in 93, but he was not the first big pop act.
He was not the first. Well, who the hell was it?
The first.
He was the pop act.
In 1991, the first big pop act. They're definitely not as big as Michael, but they were absolutely a huge pop band in 1991. It was New Kids on the Block.
Okay, you know what? I can't even hate because you're right. Because everybody was into
New
NK,
Kids on the Block, 1991.
OTB.
They had world tours.
Child, that was the first like white boy band in a long time that infiltrated the hood. Everybody's listening to New Kids on the Block.
That was the first American white boy band that was internationally known.
Were they write stuff? Oh. Was that them?
I think that's them.
That's not Backstreet Boys.
No, that's
the
New
right
Kids on the
stuff. You got the right stuff.
Yep.
Baby. Okay.
I know that's what it is because
we was jamming a little too hard.
I know that's what it was.
Okay.
So they
cute.
brought them on in 1991, and so everybody was like, "Oh, this is gonna be it." They had no way to measure it. They had no idea if the kids watched because nobody saw it live during the Super Bowl. It was preempted by the Gulf War announcements on the news.
Shit, you're right.
It was preempted by the announcement of the
so
Gulf
no
War.
one saw it.
Mm-hmm. So
that was everywhere.
Well, nobody saw it live during the Super Bowl. It came on later, maybe like the next day afterwards, but nobody saw it live. So it didn't have the halftime effect programming. 1992 comes along. They were like, okay, let's get some Gloria Estefan.
Okay, Gloria Estefan.
We got Dorothy Hamill. They was doing Olympic figure skating tribute at the same time. And you know Olympic figure skaters in the 90s.
Baby,
big, honey.
Twirled.
Okay, they were
down.
Big.
Okay, they trying to get cute.
This was the Dorothy Hamill and Brian Boitano
days. Brian Boitano? That boy could flip.
These were the days that we were watching like all the ice skaters. So they were supposed to perform with Gloria Estefan at the halftime show. But at the same time, a small sketch comedy show that was on a fledgling network had an amazing idea to create programming to compete with the NFL halftime show.
How you living?
How you
living? What?
So as I can tell, my friend here, my co-host, my good sis, already know that show was the show that put on. Before I tell you, for you young ones that don't know, I'm going to say a name and you'd be like, I don't know what that is. Let me tell you how important this show is.
Come on.
It put on the careers of Damon Wayans.
Boom.
Sean Wayans.
Boom.
Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Bam.
David Allen Greer.
Yup.
Jamie Foxx.
Yup. Jim Carrey.
Yup. Jennifer Lopez. And don't forget Rosie Perez. Well, Rosie Perez was already big. That's why she was the draw around the Fly Girls.
That's right.
That's why
she got bigger.
That's why she was the draw around
That's right.
Fly Girls.
She was the most famous at the time. You're right. At that point.
So I'm going to tell you the name of the show. The show is In Living Color. And one more thing about those Fly Girls. You got Jennifer Lopez, Carrie Ann Inaba from Dancing with the Stars.
Oh my God, I forgot.
And Lorianne Gibson, choreographer from Making the Band on MTV. Lorianne Gibson was a Fly Girl.
Okay, so all y'all faves started in this sketch comedy
Every show called In Living Color.
It's so good.
And so In Living Color had you just had been blasting it up for like weeks.
Yeah.
That they were going to compete with the Super Bowl halftime show.
I remember this. Yeah.
NFL got nervous. NFL was like, "Hey, CBS," which the network that they were on. "Hey, CBS, they over here at Fox talking about doing this thing." Now, Fox wasn't a part of the big three back then.
They weren't.
So
It
CBS,
was ABC, CBS, and NBC. You're right. Fox was like the redheaded stepchild. Nobody wanted to fuck
nobody
with.
was really watching. Well, it was all the black shows was getting their start
In Simpsons.
on Fox.
It was black shows and Simpsons.
They were all getting their start. Well, before Simpsons was Tracy Ullman show.
It was a Tracy Ullman show. Shout out to Tracy Ullman.
So they all started getting their big breaks on this Fox network that wasn't that big. You know, CBS, NFL goes to CBS and says, "Hey, we're worried about this programming that's talking about competing with our ratings. Can this affect us?" CBS was like, "Girl, she's cute."
Yeah, the gag is
CBS
coming.
was like, "Girl,
We ain't
she's
worried about her.
cute."
She's all right. That's dainty.
Which wasn't crazy to think because no one had ever beat Super Bowl programming. No television had beat Super Bowl in the Nielsen ratings as of yet.
Every TV was glued to.
Yeah, nothing had competed.
It's the NFL.
In fact, television shows were programmed after Super Bowl to help launch their appeal.
That's right.
Well, Living Color is the first television program to ever beat the Super Bowl halftime show in its ratings.
Damn. I remember the countdown clock. You remember the countdown clock they had?
At the end of the show, they had a countdown clock that count down to when the third quarter was about to start.
So you wouldn't miss it.
So you would not miss
gorgeous.
it. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
And they were great. And the show itself that they put on, y'all, it was so good. Everybody talked about it to the point that I bet you CBS was like, "Oh, no, wait a minute."
So NFL got mad at CBS and they took that out on them later. But so right after that, we have in 1993, Michael Jackson performs.
So that CBS was like, "Listen, we need the pop star at this
They
point."
went to Radio City Music Hall. Radio City Music Hall put it together and got Michael Jackson. And Michael performed, honey.
Oh my God. It's so iconic.
Jackson had people popping out of Jumbotrons.
All over the stadium thinking it's like in like replicas of him. So you thought Michael Jackson was popping out all over the stadium.
Michael Jackson was the first person to have the person on the screen and then the person jump out from behind the screen
that
in
was
real
insane.
life.
Yes, he was. He was the first
Michael
one to do
Jackson
that.
is the first person that was like talking about mixed media art performance.
Michael Jackson also is the first one that I know to stand still, not utter one word, not one note played.
Oh, yeah.
And the audience, we all lost our collective shit. Do you hear me?
He started his show with him standing still for a good 93 seconds. I timed it.
Like, yo, that's crazy. And
He
for
didn't
those of
move.
y'all, for some reference, when Beyonce did that halftime show with Bruno, her outfit was in tribute to the Michael Jackson Super Bowl that we're talking about. So if you've seen that performance with her, Bruno Mars, and Maroon 5, Coldplay, she's referencing his outfit. But that man got on there, jumped out that stage, and just stood, and we lost it.
And everybody went crazy for 90 seconds, and not a note was played
It was so
until
iconic.
Michael said so.
It was so good. It was so good.
He did not move an inch. He stood absolutely still. Insane.
And he's the first one, I think, to put up the 100 million plus numbers. I don't know what the viewers are, but I feel like he might have been the first one.
So he broke world records in viewing. And so that's when Super Bowl was like, oh, we need to make sure that we have big stars.
All the time then.
So that is the start of big time stars being on the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So
thank you in living color.
It was us up in these marching bands.
Yes.
Southern University,
Recap it for us.
Grambling,
Yes.
and Grambling
Arizona.
University, that we're the first ones to break their competition. Okay, because don't get it twisted, Living Color was a black show.
Blackity black.
We pulled attention, so they said, "Oh, we got to go get another one of you all to come on over here."
Not another one of you all.
And Michael Jackson, here he come, popping up, and then they make a left. They have rockin' country Sunday is the theme.
So
for the
I
following
remember
year.
this. That happened for quite a few years. They would always give us somebody high profile. Bam, 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 right? Hit us right. And then the next year it'd be like, oh my darling, oh my darling.
Yeah, because
Such a
Super Bowl, apparently NFL Super Bowl is very white, Southern, Midwestern culture.
You don't say.
Identity, but at the end of the day, the whole nation don't want to watch what you want to watch.
How about that? And y'all all love black music anyway, so let's stop playing these games.
Yeah. You don't tell your grandmama, but that you listen to that music.
You done bought that cassette tape. You don't tell her you bought that cassette tape.
You don't want to hear your Meemaw say race records.
Not me, Ma. Wow. So we get here. So you know what's funny? It's funny that we're talking about this because they want to do like black music and then like country music. Well, now you got one. Fast forward another 30 years.
So we end up, we go all the way to like 2016, Colin Kaepernick. There's everyone starts boycotting.
Make it plain for Roger. Yeah.
Everybody starts boycotting the
NFL.
Because Colin Kaepernick is being blackballed by the NFL. Well, Colin claims that he's being blackballed by the NFL. Well, actually, we know that he was now because he done won the case. But he was claiming that he was being blackballed from the NFL because he took a stand or took a knee during the Star Spangled Banner in protest to
racial injustice,
black racial injustice, and particularly violence from police against people of color. Well, black people specifically.
Yep.
And so, NFL didn't like this too much. He got a lot of backlash, and then all of a sudden he was supposed to get another contract. He became a free agent, and then no one picked him up. Colin Kaepernick, say whatever you wanted about his record or his career, there were worse quarterbacks than him that were that also had jobs.
He never got the opportunity to improve. He never got the opportunity to improve his craft. So we're not even gonna have this conversation like he was bad. He should have been gone anyway. He never got the opportunity to show improve. So I'm already off of that.
And let's not say just improve, like get back on track.
I'm in show
because he had already been to the Super Bowl, y'all.
We want to forget this anyway. Yes,
he had already been to the Super Bowl. But anyway, so because of that, a huge boycott of the NFL comes in. Yep. The Kappa Alpha Psi chapter of Detroit has a march and shuts it down. Kappa Alpha Psi, the fraternity of Colin Kaepernick, a black fraternity.
They're not playing.
They said, no, our frat brother will get a job.
Right.
And so people all over the country are like, we're boycotting the NFL. In light of that, a lot of entertainers
they pulled out.
They had a hard time finding entertainers that were going to appear in the halftime show because a lot of them wanted to make sure that they were in solidarity with Colin Kaepernick, and others
in the movement
didn't want to get quote unquote canceled for doing the halftime show.
I need these ticket sales. Don't play with me now. I need to make this money.
So
this hair ain't gonna buy itself.
So folks like they had asked Rihanna, Jay-Z,
she said no.
Cardi B.
Nope.
All of them said no. Okay. This is about 2017. Everybody has said no. They couldn't get anybody to.
They couldn't get nobody.
They finally got
Jethro.
They got Maroon 5, Big Boy, and Travis Scott, and all of them got dragged.
We ate Big Boy's ass on that one.
Dragged.
He ain't been right since. We ate him up on that one. Travis Scott too. Travis Scott
got dragged. Okay, so NFL was like, we got a PR problem. We got a halftime problem. We got to fix this. So, in August of 2019, Rock Nation announced a long-term partnership with the NFL League. The company will be the live music and entertainment strategist for the league, as well as augment social justice efforts through the Inspire Change initiative.
So this is how we got here.
So Rock Nation famously identified with Jay-Z.
Right.
Jay-Z is over here now running the halftime shows. So his first halftime show was in 2020, I believe. And that was none other than...
The Weeknd?
No, that was...
Not The Weeknd. West Coast?
You know it. Come on. No, don't think coast. Think Latinas.
Was that the Jennifer Lopez
That
and
was
Shakira?
Shakira and Jennifer
Oh, they
Lopez.
ate that, baby. They cha-cha'd all over that damn stage.
You had Shakira, Jennifer Lopez.
Really well done.
Bad Bunny.
A very
J
young Bad
Balvin.
Bunny. It was
So
great.
It was on. And then after that, you had The Weeknd in
Here it is.
2021. You had the whole West Coast representation with Mary. Because
Like, where'd that come from?
Well,
It's fine.
We had no idea why Mary was there. But Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, 50 Cent, Anderson .Paak. I'm not sure if he's from LA. I'm not sure if he's West Coast.
I love Andy.
But they had, me too. So 2023, Rihanna comes out.
Yes, she lives.
2024, we got Usher.
It's just black.
And then
Black and
these
brown.
are some of the biggest Super Bowl performances
they've ever had. Yeah,
Rock Nation has not missed. Rock
they
Nation
keep a big name
since 2020. Rock Nation hasn't missed.
Wow.
So, and then right before the Super Bowl, the Christmas halftime show, otherwise now known as Beyonce Bowl, happens, and then we have Kendrick Lamar, who just did the halftime show.
And by the way, both of those were so close together. I just felt like I was in my black excellence bubble. It was so good.
It was just such an entertainment flex of like what the culture has been doing.
You just brought us so nicely into these two. So y'all, let's talk about these two real quick. So we're going to talk specifically about these two halftime shows because we just got to. Sis, thank you for just leading. I had no idea how we got here, but damn, we have gotten here. We have arrived. So let's start with the Beyonce Bowl. Right, because I think we could spend a little bit more time on Kendrick since we spent so much time talking about Super Bowl stuff, but we'll get to there in a second. So, Beyonce Bowl. If you haven't watched it, y'all, check it out on Netflix. It's literally under that title. You just search it. You'll find it. Overall impressions. Let's start there. Let's be like overall impressions of the Beyonce Bowl.
It was so many things.
That's a great way to put it.
It was so many things. Besides being like a spectacle, a peek into what the Cowboy Carter tour was going to experience.
And we had no idea. Yeah.
We had no visuals. Beyonce don't do music videos anymore.
She's like, I don't need that. I ain't about that life.
Come to the concerts if you want to see.
Come to experience.
So this new, I don't know what this new Netflix deal is, but she gonna make it valuable because she's not doing any music videos.
Fine, okay, because I still watch the Coachella performance. Do you hear me?
Okay, so she is doing all of this amazing things, plus giving a peek into Black cowboy rodeo culture in America.
Celebrating
it, and like showing us that country music has always been us.
Period.
Her walking out on that. We're not doing impressions. That's what it was to me.
So, and then we'll get into some of the details. So I would say overall, it was clean. It was crisp. It was just beautiful. It was just beauty personified. In terms of like, we were talking about like country culture, Black country culture that has just, I felt has just been hidden, not even tucked away, hidden in many ways, erased. And she just literally brought it back. And like, just this beautiful sea of just white and Black. Like I just felt like I was in this place of excellence. Like you just have to be here and you just have to engulf yourself in this energy that she's trying to provide around something that has literally been here longer than we have. And I just lived.
I've checked there is a website. I can't remember the name of them, but I think they're called thedata.com.
Okay.
And they basically, or is it the numbers? I'm not sure.
I think I know what you're talking about.
That the streaming numbers for country music overall has gone up since Cowboy Carter.
Now, see, that's what we need to be talking about.
Is what she's done for country music.
Country music, period. We ain't talking about just Black country artists. And that's something, can I just say really quickly, we talk about this. It's kind of making me think about a strategy something I learned as an educator years ago. And essentially, if you have a classroom of 20 people, 20 kids, right? And they are all walks of life, different walks of life. It doesn't matter. Whichever kid is struggling the most, whichever kid needs a little bit more help to be elevated, if you craft part of how you approach your work or how you're teaching them to the kid who needs it the most,
everyone else benefits.
Everybody benefits. Like, period. Like, it doesn't make sense to just only address the top ones, right? Because then people still fall. So my point is, what she's done, because this is the reality, the lived reality. This Black country girl brought back Blackness into country and approached it in a way that it didn't feel new. It felt like we have always been.
You've always been here.
And by doing that, you have people who are now digging into country music for the sake of digging into country music. Not only have these Black artists that she has propped up. So let's just get into the highlights, because I know we have some highlights, right?
Right.
So first highlight, and I'll say it quickly, is how she ushered in, when you saw her and all of the other Black female country singers, like ushering her in to the stadium. It is the visuals. Like, I know the reason why we want visuals so much from Beyonce, because she's going to tell that story.
Well, because Beyonce is nothing else. If she is nothing else, that woman is intentional.
Like, extremely.
Everything has a reason. Yeah. Everything has a reason. From her showing, like, if you go past the skeleton, as she's coming down on the horse, riding on the horse.
Yes, I'm with you.
First of all, Black woman riding in on a white horse.
Stop.
Rodeo.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Just taking you back to Black rodeo culture. You have her going past all the old cars, the Oldsmobiles.
Yes.
And there's a skeleton in the passenger seat of one of the Oldsmobiles that's going by, and it's a reference to the one song that she did not do, the one with Miley, "Two Hands to Heaven."
What?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not the song she did. The one with Miley is Two Most Wanted.
I keep getting the.
I know, but Two Hands to Heaven slaps.
I keep calling that song "It's Two Most Wanted." It is a reference to a Two Most Wanted lyric.
I love that. I had to go check that out. I had no idea.
And then her walking in on the American flag.
Ain't that something?
That you don't know it's the American flag until like the last minute.
I know.
And just her come, and then the Black cowboys that were there, and then all the Black female country singers singing Blackbird.
Yes.
Like, when I first heard that song, how they sung it is how I performed them, how I imagined them performing it at the CMAs.
I get you. Yes, I agree.
I was like, oh, if Beyonce gets on the CMAs, she's going to perform this song, and all them girls is going to be there.
Yes.
And I was like, this is perfect.
The dance, the choreography, bringing Shabuzi out, turning it into like this kind of dance moment, but like still keeping it very country. Like
Blue Ivy.
Oh my God.
Making her Super Bowl.
Well, not Super
premiere.
Bowl. Halftime show.
Her halftime show premiere.
Her
Beyonce Bowl halftime show premiere. Like, listen.
Yeah. Like,
they training that young lady.
What?
So I feel like Beyonce's doing what Matthew did to Beyonce's doing to Blue what Matthew did to Beyonce in a kinder, gentler way.
Or Beyonce's doing with Blue what Matthew should have done.
That part.
Cause it was, and like she's into it, way more confident. Like, you bringing your daughter like that. You want to talk about family? Like, she's from Houston, Texas. I'm country. This is my baby who is behind me, like singing these songs too, like performing this stuff too. It was just incredible. And then you have the spectacle of her rising into the sky, and like, you know, and the bang shows up. Like, no, it is still gangster. It is still here. My foot is still on your neck. Like, to be clear,
she was hit. And if you watch carefully. Blue's the only one that's doing Beyonce's choreography.
Shut up.
When they're on the bleachers, everybody on the right is doing different choreography. Everybody on the left is doing separate choreography.
I'm gagged. I had no idea.
Blue is in the middle, the only
up.
one doing Beyonce's choreography.
So, like, I'm like my mama. Like, I'm
she is sitting here just watch. So it's like her being in class, watching her mom do the choreography.
I can't. I love
She's
this.
doing the choreography probably how she learned it in rehearsals, just sitting watching her mom learn
Wow.
her choreography.
Last thing I'll say, because I wanna make sure we spend enough time. We get enough time on the Super Bowl on Kendrick's, but I know we want to talk about some of the responses. The last thing I'll say is I got to see a TikTok video of how the team was moving to make sure that Beyonce was in place for every time the screen came up, or like you just saw how they were moving.
It's so intricate.
It is so intricate. And I'm just like all I saw was excellence. Somebody had a conversation with somebody to make sure you need to run here, put this here, so when she walks to the car, she can just slip her arm through that jacket and you're going to hand her this mic and the lights have to come on at this time. Like, it is so like when you said intentional, it is intentional what you're going to see in front of the camera. It is intentional what you're going to see behind it. And that to me is where Michael Jackson lived. And anybody who quotes him, any of these big entertainers, they would tell you this man was on something different. He thought about everything. He thought about the grip. He thought about the dancer. He thought about the bass player. He thought about where's that light here? What color is that light? He thought about every single solitary thing. And we're seeing her do it.
Okay. And she really did it like well. So like, do you want to talk about some of the responses?
Yes, let's get to it.
So, like, all right, I got a real petty one. So
go for it.
That because I went back and did research, and I saw there was like a criticism of the line dancing that was happening during the performance, or some of the line dancing choreography. They were like, it just didn't look cleaner. If you want to see real clean line dance choreography, go back to the Super Bowl where they did the Rockin' Super Bowl.
I'll go. Get away from me.
So the one with Winona, the judge. And so there was a whole field full of people doing country line dancing in different intricate like formations. They still weren't as tight as Beyonce's.
And this is
it's an unfair comparison.
Stop.
It's an unfair comparison because let me tell you what none of these performers were doing. Performing in stadiums.
Oh. You know there was in somebody backwoods bar.
No, they were. None of these people were doing regular stadium
These
tours.
are trained professionals.
Literally. They weren't doing stadiums. Not like Beyonce does stadium. Like Beyonce can't perform in anything but a football stadium.
It's so funny that they bring up this issue of line dancing when the origin of line dancing is kind of racist. It's hella racist, y'all.
Hello.
So like, but instead you want us to refer to the racist people who did it years ago.
Okay.
Or like, so I'm like, that is a
like,
trifling criticism.
We want to say, and I was like, this was a mess. So invalid.
Right. And speaking of invalid, my biggest invalid one for this one is, I guess this transcends race, because I know we're having that conversation, but I need people to kind of step back from, I don't care if you're a Beyonce fan. I really don't. I don't need you to be a Beyonce fan. I need you to see what she's doing.
Yeah.
And I need you to respect that. I need you to respect the craft of the artistry. And as well as she's bringing up, I have not seen her since Lemonade, which was intentional, but I've seen her every project after that try to bring in other artists, build them up, give them a platform, make sure they get writing credits. Like she's trying to build this out, and to come from a genre where we have been Black people have been historically overlooked because country music was ours to begin with. That's a different conversation.
That part.
But no one else is doing this. So since no one else is doing this and no one else has used their platform in this way, so just give the woman her props, because she's doing things for the culture that will outshine her legacy in music and music entertainment. I just need to put that out there.
And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this real quick.
Come on, babe.
I'm going to say this real quick. You don't have to be a Beyonce fan. Like that's fine.
That is
like,
so fine.
It is very valid that you're not into Beyonce, you're not into Beyonce's music, but you will not look at Beyonce, watch her perform, and say that wasn't good.
You can't.
It doesn't have to be.
You won't say it's unpolished. You won't say.
You can't. It cannot be your thing, but you cannot watch it objectively and say that wasn't great.
The wig wasn't tight. There's a hem out of place. You won't see it.
You won't.
It won't exist.
You can't say that wasn't a feat. And so That's fine. That is and that's my criticism is that you may not like her, but you can't say that it isn't quality. Period.
Now let's go to this Super Bowl performance, baby.
Let's go ahead and get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, overall impressions.
So again, perfect example how I know you can give Beyonce credit for their work and not be into Beyonce. I have to do it here. Like, I'm not a Kendrick fan.
See, I love that you're saying this.
I'm not a Kendrick fan. Like, Kendrick, I definitely have had some bops that I know that I recognize and that I enjoy, but I never really got into his full bodies of work because there was always that hint of like Hotep and misogyny in there for me that just
it makes me uncomfortable.
It makes me uncomfortable, and if it make me uncomfortable, I'm not that person that was like, oh well, I'm gonna just go ahead and enjoy it anyway.
Right.
Like it don't sit with me. I'm just not that kind of person. So I haven't been that big of a Kendrick fan, but this was one hell of a Super Bowl performance. This was Beyonce level intentional.
Oh my God, the metaphors, the artistic style of it all. I love this because it was about rap music. Whatever the levels of spectacle he added, it's still about me and a microphone and I'm on a cypher and I'm giving you these bars. That to me, for me, is the origin of hip hop music. That's what I remember. That's what I grew up with. Those are the roots of it. All I need is one mic. And this fool got on here, even with all that he added, it was about him. The camera was catching him on certain parts that it wanted to catch on, and it was about hip hop music. Not all of this other stuff that you think is supposed to be, not all this singing songy, and I'm not taking away from artists who incorporate vocals into their rap. I'm not taking away any of the other stuff that they do. But at its purest form, it is rapped lyrics over a crazy beat. And that's what he did. And I was like, I love this.
And not just that, like that's what Kendrick is. Kendrick is a rapper and he's a performer. Like it was also a reflection of his artistry, his intentionality as an artist in putting together a performance. Like this was really, so there's an article about the halftime show in Vibe magazine. I want to read a quick snippet, but it said, according to Dan Free, who is Kendrick's longtime collaborator and business partner, he and Lamar began putting the pieces of the set in place after brainstorming and watching every Super Bowl halftime show in history.
Yo, so homie did their research like that?
He did his research. Okay? He did his research.
Just like you did. Wow.
The duo took particular inspiration in past performances such as Michael Jackson's inaugural headlining appearance at Super Bowl in 1993, as well as Prince, Beyonce.
Oh, Prince.
And those Super Bowls respectively.
Wow. He knew where he was pulling from.
So he pulled from
because Prince kept a very simple. Actually, Michael did too. Outside of the stunts, they all kept very simple platforms. They didn't give you all of this like crazy backdrop and these pieces they had to connect. It was actually Beyonce too when she did that. Like they kept. So it makes so much sense why it wasn't. I think some of the criticism is just going to come in there. It wasn't enough. I'm used to. No, you're not. You're not used to all this crazy opulence. I said, if we go back to that West Coast one with Mary J. Blige, I feel like they had the most set. Like that was what I thought spectacle was. Like this 2-story thing that they were hanging out of. They didn't do any of that.
They have surpassed these marching bands making patterns. Okay. We've come a long way.
But he did make some patterns, right? So let's get into these highlights. He did make some patterns.
This choreography was so intentional. Wait, before we even get to that, before the choreography, so I wanted to tell you something I read real quick about the lights, the game pieces. So it was like a tic-tac-toe board, and it had a triangle, a square, a circle.
Yeah, like the PlayStation controller.
I
was into it. Yeah, I caught on that.
So he had a game on top of a game.
Yes.
So before even you hear Samuel L. Jackson, the different buttons light up in a certain sequence.
Wait a minute, what?
And that particular sequence is a cheat code for Grand Theft Auto for full health and armor.
Oh, that's nasty.
Before
I saw them lighting up. I didn't know it was in a certain pattern.
it was in a sequence.
I think I know that pattern.
Out to a cheat code for Grand Theft Auto.
That's because they first implemented. That's right. Because I remember playing Grand Theft Auto 3 back in the day. I think I had no idea.
So there's a content creator that claims that is a big gamer content creator. I can't think of his name. Well, it's a white guy. I don't care.
Bob.
Content creator that basically says
that's so insane. I love it.
It was a cheat code. And so then you have Samuel L. Jackson
as Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam playing the role of, first of all, forget about the role, just Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam is a statement.
Stop me.
Because if you don't know who Samuel L. Jackson is outside of being an actor, Samuel L. Jackson
is an activist.
The activist from day one, the activist that had some point been a usher at Martin Luther King's funeral.
That part.
The man that in his college years at some point held Martin Luther King Sr. hostage during a protest at Morehouse.
That guy.
That Samuel Jackson just played Uncle Sam.
So you have him take this Heart of Dixieland caricature of he represents America. And
respectability, America respectability politics.
Yes, you can't be doing that. You too ghetto. Mm-hmm. All of that, right? Like we all instantly resonate with that. He's playing this character.
Make sure you play the game.
Oh, and he did. He played. Okay, yes.
All right.
So
choreography.
That was great. I love. Oh, can we talk about the friends coming out of the GNX?
The GNX.
Can we talk about this GNX for a second?
All these people popping up out of this GNX
to form a flag. All these black men forming, getting information to look like the American flag, but the whole part of them coming out of the GNX. Do y'all know this car? I hope on brunches. I hope y'all know the importance of this car.
The iconic importance of GNX and. Kendrick being from Compton.
Yes, so particularly when you think hip hop is coming up. Hip hop is exploding in really different ways all over all the coast, right? So you got East hip hop, you got your Southern rap, you got your Midwest, you got your Florida, and you got your roll bounce, you got your West Coast. So in West Coast, think all the way back to NWA, Ice Cube, all of them. Rolling in these GNXs, baby.
Okay.
It literally was the car that represented the birth of that era. And so he's standing on top of this car. And as it opens, all basically America is coming out of this car. Do y'all see me? I was on the floor. So good.
So you had a bunch of dancers, all of them clearly black people.
Black. Blackity black.
All dressed in either all red, or all blue.
Mm-hmm.
And they stand in a formation that creates an American flag.
Mm-hmm.
And he performs.
He's in between that, and they go to this scene where I think one of the most insane transitions to me is also watching how they form then again, and they're walking across the camera goes up and you see the entirety of the platform they're performing on, and it looks like a prison yard. Mm-hmm. And they're marching across the imagery of this. So if not only they were standing like the flag, you see Black America, but you see how it's covered, almost overtaken in a sense, except for their faces. I feel like even as much for all the skin exposure we saw, I think that was important. I think they were dressed head to toe in their colors on purpose. I think we only saw parts of their faces on purpose because they could have just been in tank tops, but that, we're still here, and how this whole thing has carried through this prison pipeline system. He's giving you imagery. He's trying to tell you about America through his music. It was.
And not just through his music, but through his culture.
Through his culture. Yes, thank you.
Through his culture. He is showing you the GNX. He's showing you the American flag, but specifically black men in streetwear in American colors. And like I lost my train of thought because I'm super high. It was the choreography. The choreography is very specific Compton, West Coast dance vocabulary.
Intentional. Yeah,
like,
you're right.
It's not just hip hop, but it's hip hop dance vocabulary that comes very specifically from crunking and clowning, which both come from Compton.
Yeah. And speaking of the culture, can we talk about the Serena Williams of it all? But even before I get to that, like I just went because we were talking about how the men showed up, and I loved how it is very well known in hip hop culture, particularly to see women be exploited. So the man is all dressed up, he looks all serious, and the women are scantily clad. Women, I think, here were represented in a very like uplifted and central way.
Equals.
It felt very much like that. Even the women who were dressed up, who were maybe just doing the dancing part of it, and then to have SZA and Serena be a part of this performance, which we know is now intentional as well.
Right, like
so. Serena's 9 seconds. Like, how do you steal a show that's already insane?
Besides Serena being mentioned in the lyric of the song that's happening at the time, because we are in the middle of Not Like Us.
Yes,
but Serena specifically doing a crip walk, which she was penalized for doing during Wimbledon. Like, it almost destroyed her career.
Yes, it did.
She got fined for doing a crip walk as a victory dance for her winning it.
Yep.
And she got, people was walking down on the court. Do we need to do something?
Yep.
It was a mess.
Yes.
So this was a celebration of her, like, being one of the greatest athletes of all time. Mm-hmm. And I'm freely able to like express
still
my
be
culture
Serena,
because Serena is Compton. Serena's from Compton.
Yes,
this is very much her culture.
Yes,
she is. Kendrick's culture.
I loved it, and I love the fact that they did all the thing. I forgot the name of the song that quick. The title song from the Black Panther soundtrack, which is
All the Stars.
Yes, All the Stars. I love that so much. I love that song. I love that. And I honestly believe if Chadwick was still with us, he might have even made an appearance. I just love that song so much. I love that it found its way in there because I say that because we know a lot of people. I think that's one of the songs where I've heard the most people get online and say, oh, that was him. I didn't know he did that song because I only first heard his song watching these Marvel movies because I don't follow Kendrick like that.
Right.
So even though it's a great song, the most comments I heard like, oh, I didn't even know that was him.
Right. For folks that aren't rap fans
and I'm
or
like,
don't listen to rap,
so smart.
But they know that song because it was one of the biggest movies in
the MCU. So I'm like, yes, I loved all of that for that. So did you want to mention anything? I think we talked a lot about the backlash, but I feel like there's some little bit.
I don't think we talked about any backlash for Ket.
Yeah. So let's go.
Yeah. So responses.
Oh my God.
He didn't. So direct quote. I have a couple of clients. I'm talking to this white man. Who's a client of mine. He's much younger than I am, but he is of the age to. When Kendrick was on the rise, he was a teenager.
Okay.
So he's followed. He's a white guy, but he's a rap fan, and he's been a Kendrick fan. And one of his criticisms was like, oh, man, I don't even know why you need to make this show about the whole, Drake song. Like,
what?
Why is it about this beef? That wasn't even his best hits. And he has such bigger hits than this. I never heard any of my favorite Kendrick songs. Well, two things. One, if you want to see those songs, you pay tickets and go to the concert and go see those songs. If you want to perform them, because you don't get to choose what a performer performs of their catalog. And two, every song that he did at that Super Bowl halftime show, Kendrick owns the rights to.
Get into it.
He owns the masters for all of those songs.
All of them.
Those are all the songs he owns the masters for. So
which are some of his biggest hits.
So you going to get those songs.
I think sometimes people are just looking for things to blame it on anything. It's like, that wasn't his biggest song. Homie just won 5 Grammys off of this one song.
This
You
song,
think
it was
I'm
the
not?
biggest song of the
What are you talking about? I get that it was a part of the beef.
It was literally the song of the summer.
And it was immediately imprinted into black culture. There's not going to be a Juneteenth. Every Juneteenth, we're going to hear this song if we don't hear it no other time. Every June. Like, what are you talking about?
And
Like, let that go.
So that made me uncomfortable. And then you're not going to tell me that you're a rap fan and be uncomfortable with a diss track. You can't.
Then you're not a rap fan.
You're not a rap fan.
Which wasn't his whole set list, by the way. But like, get out of here. Oh, it wasn't viewed. It was the lowest viewed. No, it wasn't. It was the highest viewed. It's the most viewed.
We've had diss tracks since the inception
of hip hop music.
hip-hop.
Thank you, Roxanne Shante.
Okay, and I have not had people, non-black people, be so upset.
Now, see, that's what we're not going to do. Because I feel like they're out here trying to like save Drake. And we didn't ask for any of this. And I'm like, wow, that's another episode.
I feel like
why are we out here trying to?
I think that's a lot of what is happening.
Because I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot,
we would not care.
They would not care. It wouldn't be like, let's go hug Kendrick.
Right.
Let's go make sure he's okay. No.
Listen,
you want this little.
If I never thought it would happen, because I never thought that he was that good of a rapper, but he's a great performer. But if Drake won this beef, if Drake had responded, if Drake had done Not Like Us or the equivalent of Not Like Us, I'd be here for it. I'd be here for it too, having a good old time.
But we're not gonna get blood out of a stone. I'm not trying to be funny.
But we not here. That's not what happened. You started this beef, sir. You came in here and you said you got upset because Kendrick said, "Forget Big Three, it's Big Me."
Are you mad about that?
And you got mad about it. But nobody told you to equate yourself to
Nobody
this man.
told you to go after this man. And I'm going to be done with that part of this argument. There is not, and when it comes to a rap beef, if you're not a lyricist, you're not beating them. I don't give a shit how hot your beats are.
If you can't freestyle, stop it.
I don't give a shit how good your hooks are. You're not beating someone who studies vocabulary and language and words.
And let me just tell you, I'm not of the idea that if a rapper doesn't write their raps, they're not a rapper. I don't feel that way about hip. There are plenty of great hip hop artists or hip hop artists that you love and you know, and they've not written all of their things.
I don't have a problem with that too.
And that's not what I'm talking about here.
But you don't try and be a goat though if you're not writing your own stuff. I'm sorry.
And Kendrick never said you're not a great artist. Kendrick gave you your lane. He told you
but you over there with it.
But you're over there.
That.
You're not. I'm in a different lane as an artist, and that's what Kendrick was trying to say. And so when they went back and forth, Kendrick, in the most very creative and stylish way that he could, let him have it.
Because he's a lyricist.
And he let him have it so well. He's won 5 Grammys.
I'm just saying, Drake should have did his homework. You tell me when there's been one rap beef where the lyricist lost. I'll wait. I'm not having this conversation with anybody else. I'll wait.
And losing a rap beef is not the end of your career. Jay-Z lost a rap beef.
Because I love Jay-Z. But when it comes to Nas is a lyricist. So Ether destroyed. And Homie gave him his props. He said, you got it on that.
And then Jay-Z went on the next day and made his money.
And made big pimping. So we're good. What are we doing? So that aside, I think we harped on this because that really was just a small segment of this performance. I still live for the pettiness. I still live for the view, him looking in the camera saying, "Hey Drake." Oh, that is going to be a meme forever.
Listen, I live for that. Listen, I am not above the good petty.
A good peppermint petty.
Okay, I'm not above a good.
You peppermint petty. I'm petty LaBelle.
There is too much petty. There is bad types of petty. There is all. Yes, not all petty is equal.
No,
there is some good old cute good petty that we could have. And Kendrick had it on that Super Bowl.
For 133 plus million people to catch.
That day, when all of them people said A minor, I said, oh.
Collectively around the world we
because
did.
Because he didn't rap it.
No.
He stayed quiet, and the entire stadium said it.
Including Taylor Swift.
Somebody in Donald Trump's box said A minor.
You know they all did. Shit, he might have too.
Somebody did it. Somebody in the box did it.
So let that man
Everybody
know.
looked at him crazy, but or her, but they did it.
It is what it is. But it was an excellent performance. It was a huge win for hip hop music. It was even more a bigger win for West Coast music in general. I was so proud of that. I was so proud to see that, even though I grew up entrenched in East Coast music, you have to respect the West Coast. You have to respect where hip hop has developed in this country on any of the regions. And I felt like he was true to that. He was true to the lyricist. I think everybody who loves a good wordsmith, who loves good metaphors and double entendres, I think he nails that. I think he represents for all of those artists. I think he's polished in the way that people don't want, when they think about rap music, they don't think about it that way. And I'm not shading people who talk simpler or use more general terms. I'm saying hip hop music has always made me think, and I will go back and listen to it and I would get something else, and I will go back and listen to it and get something else. He has just done that with the visuals as well. If you go back and keep watching his halftime performance, you're going to get something different. And that's art. That's art, right?
That performance was the most American identified Super Bowl performance we've ever had.
Like, for us.
Yeah,
affirming
it was the most American performance, like Americana performance you will ever see on a Super Bowl halftime show. And I've watched all of them.
You know what?
But in a very real way, it was red, white. It was the Star Spangled Banner. It was the spectacle. It was Uncle Sam. But it was also the critique.
Mm-hmm.
It was the freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
It was, the like making a stance and political statement. Like, this is America.
And he spoke to us. Like, I think you ask any black man, which performance out of all of those you watch, out of all of them, we would connect with the most. It has to be this one. As a black man, I absolutely connect with this one the most.
He was able to say, "Hey, Black America," without saying the black part.
Yep. He was telling all of us to turn the TV off, but he was looking right at me.
Okay.
I'm talking to you, brother.
When he said turn the TV off, guess what happened at my house?
We all turned the TV off.
We said, "Oh no, I don't need to see."
It was a blur anyway. But
I was like, "No, but I don't need to see the rest of this."
We sure did.
Everybody turned that right on off. We were like, "Oh, all right."
We sure did.
I heard about the final score on the news. I think it's a good bookend to what, our influence on like Super Bowl performance. If you think about, Gramblin's presence in 1967 all the way to Kendrick, like.
Because I wonder if they had to tell them, if they're playing, Dixieland, the only way you're going to get on this platform, I'm sure those conversations happen. The only way you're going to get to this show, you're going to get to the stage is if you do what we say. And to come 50 some odd years later and be like, actually, I'm going to do my music, the music that I own, and I'm going to do it my way. Like, you got to see how far we've come.
Absolutely. I see it.
I love it.
I see it.
I love it for us.
I think I'm
feeling good and satiated. This was good. This was a really good one.
It was a nice little deep dive.
Let's close it on out. So listen, y'all. Oh, don't forget, when we drop this episode, let us know in the comments which was your favorite Super Bowl performance out of all the ones you've seen.
I would like to know that.
I would love to know that, right? So make sure you drop that in the comments, all right? We love you. So while you out in this world, y'all, just be good and be good at it.
And I want you to know that you are enough just as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.